Hello, world. We welcome to Halal World PH. This is another exciting day for us because we have a new friend, a new guest. We will be having an interesting discussion with Canadians this time. We will be conducting a learning session with Halal Expo Canada. So, as we have shown in our poster, Halal World PH meets Halal Expo Canada. That's very, very interesting. We'd like to find out later on what Halal Expo Canada is all about. So, officially, this program is brought to you by Halal Expo Canada Exhibition and Conference. And we will find out later what Halal Expo Canada is all about. So, we're so excited. In the meantime, we're bringing in our guests from the Philippines, Ismail Abaya.
Hello
Hello,
world, hello
good
world,
morning, Mr.
hello
Abaya.
Philippines. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Pinoy na Pinoy tayo ha. Nilagay ko na yung sa lokot ko to make it clear that I'm in the Philippines. Hello Seno, how are you? Happy New
Hello.
Year.
Yes, it's kind of cold. It's quite cold here where we are now. That's why
Are you in the Philippines?
yes, I am in the Philippines.
Okay.
I am in the great city of Pasay, and it's quite
Ah,
cold here. It's like Baguio cold
ah,
here right now, no?
even here
And
in the province of Cavite.
okay, so we are from different provinces right now. Okay, I'm from
Yes.
Metro Manila, you're from Cavite, and I was so excited when you informed me that this time, after our initial international meeting with halal food in Japan, now we are
Yes.
going to talk to Canada, and
And
I it
soon
yes.
in Korea.
Okay, so we'll deal with Korea later, no? That's a lot of
Yeah.
K-drama and tears and crying. But this time,
Yeah.
this is all about very huge business opportunities. Initially,
Yes.
when you were recruiting me into the halal advocacy,
Yeah.
I did not understand the extent of the size of the halal industry, no? But eventually, as I was listening to your counterparts in Malaysia and Singapore and our regular programs with them, I realized it's really a way of life, as one of our colleagues
Yeah.
said. It's not just about food. Okay, so we'll find out
Yeah.
more later on from our guests. We have to call them in now. We'd like to
Yes.
welcome Nasir, Dib, and Grace Aguilar from Halal Expo Canada. Good
Yay!
morning.
Hello!
Hi.
Hello.
Assalamualaikum!
Yes.
Waalaikumsalam.
Um, First of all, we'd like to, I think also Ismail would like to know, or and the viewers would like to know, you are guys from Canada?
Yes.
Yes? Is that correct?
Yes.
And Nasser, you are originally from where?
Well, it's a long story. I don't think it's. I grew up. I grew up. I grew up in Abu Dhabi. Worked in the
Okay.
Middle East, and also educated in the U.S.
Wow.
Then 11 years ago, decided to move from the Middle East and make Canada as my home. And it's been
Mhm.
great. It's been very nice and very successful and promising. A great country, great people, and we have been very fortunate with launching our shows here. Uh, Continue to do my what I love the most, and me and Grace also. What we started in Dubai and different countries in the Middle East, we transform it to a better, even better ways, and when because the country can give us the right environment to grow and prosper and that trade show industry. And now we're venturing into the halal industry with a successful launch of Halal Expo Canada in 2019.
That's great. And Grace, are we correct to say that you are Filipina?
Yes, I am originally
Oh, okay.
Filipino.
So, ikababayan in Canada. And
Ryan.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but we stalked your Expo Hot page a bit last night, no? That's why I made all the bloopers and the glitches because I had to do my studying first, no? And I understand you finished university in women's.
Yes, Philippine
Is
Women's
that the one in along Taft Avenue?
Health Avenue. Yes, correct.
Yes. So Nasir, I'm already close with Grace. I already know where she came from. Okay. But first of all, it's my curiosity. How did you guys and Ismail meet? How did you get to know each other?
Is it me or meeting? Or,
No, you,
Class?
uh, the both of you, and
Not the love
Nasir,
life.
Nasir. No, no, I mean Nasir and Ismail. I'm talking about this common advocacy on
no,
halal between
we
Ismail
uh,
Abaya and you, Nasir Dib.
the idea started when we were approaching the Asian market for halal, and we had a stopover in Manila on the way to Mihas, the largest halal expo in Kuala Lumpur.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
so we had a stopover, and we were looking for somebody who is, because we didn't realize that how big is the halal market in
Yes.
Philippines, how it grown so fast.
So fast.
Because remember, like 11 years ago, when we were in Philippines, halal was there, but it wasn't very common. But
yes.
when so we started searching and looking at these things, and then I think I don't know how we come across.
Actually, we came across with Brother Ismail in Facebook. I was looking at the shows of who's doing the shows in Philippines for halal, and then I saw the one halal association that he organized. So I connect with him and we talk, and I said that, oh, we're going to Malaysia. We're, it's good that we go and meet and discuss everything. It's about for Philippines halal. So yeah, that's start. So we stop by Philippines, we talk to them, and then
and
things that works like that.
and interesting is we stayed in the hotel close to the airport. I think it was the Marriott, right?
Yeah.
And we brother Ismail told us that the hotel, because I was telling him that in the breakfast I saw halal signs, like I was impressed. He said actually they are certified by one of the association that Ismail is working with. So I was impressed
Yes.
that even in the five-star hotels they're adapting into the halal lifestyle.
Yes.
Um, we were impressed on how things are becoming very common. Um, and the same thing happened when I was last time in last November. I was in not this November, the 2019 November. I was in Thailand and Bangkok. It was amazing, the growth of Muslim Thai Muslims, which now approximately 16 million Muslims in Thailand, and that's another thing that like I'm seeing a lot of growth. And of course, we had a nice meeting with Brother Ismail at the hotel, and he gave us some ideas and some background. And there was another nice lady with you. I can't remember.
Yes.
That's I think yeah,
Yeah.
that's how
Yes.
that goes.
Okay, so I'll also tell you about my experience on how I met Ismail, okay? If you like if you so kindly indulge me. Him and I, we are actually both volunteer mentors for a huge organization and a huge movement called Go Negosyo. Are you familiar with Go Negosyo, Grace? Go Ne
Um, I just
Go Ne
saw that in Facebook when he's doing it, all the promotion and stuff. Yes, and actually it's really nice that gold negotiation is it's good for, like, even though OFW is really working on that, and they're looking for, to have their own business while they're working abroad.
Okay, so to give you a background there, Go Negosyo is actually a movement and an
Mm-hmm.
advocacy founded by Joey Concepcion. You're familiar with Joey Concepcion, right?
Mm-hmm.
He now runs the Concepcion RFM group, which used to be founded by his father, his late father. And Joey Concepcion has actually a cabinet position right now in the present government. He is the presidential advisor on entrepreneurship. And I think he's being paid 1 peso a year. No?
Mhm.
That's a lot, no?
Like a
As a
volunteer.
volunteer.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Not
So
even one
part
dollar.
uh the main objective of Go Negosyo, it's on its 15th year now, by the way, is to mentor MSMEs, micro, small, medium industries. All right. I mean, enterprises, I mean, they're not even industry. So eventually, it evolved into actual face-to-face physical mentoring sessions wherein Go Negosyo went to big cities in the Philippines, remote cities sometimes, and they occupied a certain part of the mall. Are you familiar, Naser, that the Philippines is full of malls, shopping malls,
Yes.
big shopping malls everywhere?
That's the more than all this one. Yeah, of
It's
course.
only this one. What about the
No,
Rojas Boulevard? Which one
no.
is that?
Ross
Well,
Boulevard,
MOA,
yes.
Yeah,
SMO.
MOA, yes, yes. MOA,
mm,
it's one of the biggest in Asia, no? It stretches in more than 1 kilometer, no?
no,
it's his
we
favorite actually.
yeah,
He loves going there.
yeah, it fascinates me. Like a lot of people, I always educate people about Philippines and how nice it is and how the if you want to go shopping and eating, you should go to Manila. If you want to go to the resorts, I don't have to say anymore because now I think most YouTubers are using Philippines as their best destination to
Destination.
shoot videos. Uh,
Yes,
I
Yes.
I know that one of my fellow uh, uh, I'm a Jordanian Palestinian, as you
uh-huh.
know, and he's a Nas Daily, Palestinian.
Yes, yes, yes. We know Nas Daily.
Yeah,
Yes.
so he's a Kabayan basically.
Okay,
He's a
Ah,
that's great
Kabayan.
to know.
Yeah. But and I've seen a lot of them. Not only him, but so many big YouTubers. They always say Philippines is the best place for us that we always go back to. And I always, because to me, I used to know Philippines back in the days, like in the 90s and 2000, when nobody knew about it. But
yeah.
now everybody, because to me it was like a hidden gem. I've been to Thailand, I've been to Malaysia, but people do understand Philippines has more to offer, and that's what I always. And I was also interested to know that they're starting slowly now to have halal resorts, like in some areas,
Yes.
they
Yes.
promote uh,
Nice.
halal resorts. So basically, if you go there, there's no alcohol, decent clothing, halal
Yes.
meat, halal food,
Yes.
prayer area for if you want to pray. So that's a good way because Malaysia is doing that, is very successful. Maldives is doing that in some part. Also in Bahamas now they're doing also halal resorts. So everybody is adapting to that lifestyle because just the halal tourism itself is estimated at now at more than 350 or 360 billion dollars industry. So it's a huge industry. Oh, sorry, million
Yes.
dollars at the stage, and it's growing and evolving. Now the halal industry is more than 1.4 trillion dollars industry. So
Mm.
it's a huge industry, and a lot of people now in
Definitely.
Canada are adapting to it, from modest clothing to food production. 50% of the people involved in halal in Canada or North America are not even Muslims because they see the
Correct.
potential and they're getting into it.
Yes.
Yes.
That's correct. That you went ahead of what I was also going to inform. But yes, that's. I'm so happy that no, you did not go ahead. You were in parallel, very much in parallel with what Ismail told me when we first met in Go Negosyo. I was so ignorant. I didn't know anything about halal. I just heard it once in my life prior to meeting Ismail like 3 years ago. We were both mentors in a mall in Pampanga. I don't know why he had to pick me. Of course, I am because Grace naturally I am suplado, Grace eh. I
So
do, maybe you
No,
can
you don't
interpret
look
you
like
can translate
suplado.
suplado to Nasir. I am like I'm
Stubborn.
I pick people.
Maybe
I don't
stubborn.
Like
even in a huge gathering I
grandpa.
don't usually, go out
I
of my way to
know,
make friends.
I know Sublado. Don't worry.
Yes, yes.
Suplado.
So this guy who was wearing a headdress approached me. No, had a smiling face and he had curly hair, just like what he looks now. And then he started conversing with me, and then of course I was suspicious. No, I was worried, and then eventually, after a few seconds, actually, sometimes you feel it. No, I was very comfy with him, and then and then when of course we got to ask about each other, he asked me, "What are you doing?" At that time, I was doing digitalization for local governments at that time, and we were doing the app for Go Negosyo. I was affiliated with that company. So that was my advocacy at that time, and I was mentoring small enterprises on digital marketing. No? And then he said, um, well, other than being a mentor here, he's also into franchising mentoring. No, he said I also promote and advocate halal. So that was when my curiosity started. But of course, being from an ignorant culture, I think you can understand what I mean. I still had my skepticism at the start. And then I said, halal, isn't that for Muslims? Then he started telling me, well, actually, that's if you look at it that way. But if you look at it from a commercial and a business perspective and an industry perspective, you have to understand, he said, that there are 110 million Filipinos. The Muslims are just a minority. We do not even do our business planning based on that specific demographic, because when you're in the Philippines, you do your target marketing based on 110 million Filipinos all the time and from the start. And he said that this is the misconception which I had for the longest time in my life. No, the misconception is that halal is only for Muslims. But if we have that mindset, then that would not be a feasible business and industry. He said halal should be considered as a way of life and a way of everything for everyone, because it ensures, well, you will explain to our audiences later, no, because I think that is also the angle that Halal Expo Canada is trying to inform people. So I realized then that halal should also be educated to the ignorant one, just like me before, right? Maybe I'll stop using the word ignorant, to the uninformed, no, right? um and as people get educated, then they get to understand that this is the best way. It has only been in the recent years that people have, you know uso. What is uso in English? That it's a trend. It was just a trend about organic, healthy lifestyle, healthy living. But when looking back, halal has already been doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is not just a trend. No, it's a culture. Other than being a culture and tradition, it is a lifestyle, right? So we'll get into that later. So that was the time that I also did my own reading, and I kept on consulting with my, just for my own personal learning. And then I also found out along the way that he was assisting micro and small entrepreneurs, because of course halal certification for example, for my own enterprise, if I am just a micro entrepreneur, that would be very costly, and I cannot afford that, right? The cost involved, the process, etc. So when I found out that Ismail had also a group, an association, they band together so that as a group, as an organization, they can also assist and be strong with all the other micro entrepreneurs and get their products and consolidate them. So I think it's just about that way here in the Philippines, no? When he informed me about Halal Expo Canada, I reminded him that the first time we met, I told him that the first half of my adult and working life, I was also into exhibitions. And then he said, "What's that?" Um, and I told Ismail I was a professional exhibitionist. Then he got shocked. Okay, no, no, not that one that you're thinking about. They were paying me to organize trade shows. So in my past life, I also was the conceptualizer and the founder of several trade shows, big food processing trade shows in the Philippines. And when I mentioned it to Ismail, he immediately remembered that it was me who gave the first break to his franchising, Filipino Franchising Association group in the past, like 2 decades ago. No? And so I'm very familiar. I used to be a member of as well of the International Association of America, because that's the only organization that gives you
I,
certification, right?
not America, it's International Station of Exhibition and Events.
Yes.
It's not only U.S. It's based in the U.S. But
Ah,
they're
yes, yes. It's based in the, but at that time that was in the late 80s when I started, no? At that time. So these things, no?
I
So
know
we're here now.
the guy from Phil Construct. You know Phil Construct.
Yes, Phil Construct. I used to do Asia Food Expo. I
Yeah,
don't know if you're familiar.
yeah,
That
yeah.
one. I founded that one, but eventually I split from them. No.
So you're organizer, not
Yes.
exhibition.
We are organizers. We put up the corporation from an idea, and it grew big because it's about food, you know. As someone said, and maybe you are familiar by now, Nasser, knowing Filipinos also, as the former European Chamber said, in my 25 years in the Philippines, I realized that Filipinos don't eat. Then I said, "What? What did you say? They don't eat. They just graze the whole day." You know, Ismail graze, graze. They said, "What does
Eat
graze mean?
all you
You know,
can.
like a cow, the cow from morning to afternoon, he just keeps on grazing on the grass. That's how Filipinos are," he said.
We love to eat.
Uh, they wake up, they eat breakfast, and then after breakfast at 10 a.m., they eat merienda. Are you familiar with that, Nasser? And then
Snack.
But to me, breakfast for Philippine breakfast, merienda, lunch, dinner, everything is the same. And
yes,
for us,
actually.
for us, we have cheese, eggs, in the morning.
Yes.
We have, like a jam and butter. But in Philippine, I found that they eat rice and fish, and lunch rice and fish, and dinner.
It's like I think it's all Asians are like that.
So when I go to China, or I go to Thailand or Philippines, and I go to the buffet breakfast
There's
and
lots of
and
functions.
and the hotels, I I don't eat lunch, so I eat breakfast in the morning, and that's my lunch because everything is there. It's my lunch and dinner. So they have sushi, they have fish, rice in the breakfast. So I was like, wow, and that
Yes.
something was interesting because I don't eat lunch in Asia. I only eat breakfast and dinner.
Oh, okay.
The,
That's
the
It's heavy
breakfast
already.
is already heavy, and it's already have
yes.
all the lunch stuff, rice, and because we don't eat rice in the morning. We don't
Yes.
eat rice in the morning. So
Okay.
and Grace started recently eating rice in the morning, so she's is enjoying. But yeah, so going back, I mean, like I said, as you said, the halal is a living, healthy living. Uh, it's not only for Muslims. I think it started off from the Abrahamic beliefs, the way it's sacrificed and all. So and then over the years, the Muslims are the only one who's holding on to it, but the rest they kind of started to back up and started to change. But originally we are the same. It's not a Muslim thing. It's a human thing. uh, the way you slaughter the meat, the way you don't mix uh, the pork or the gelatin in your products or your makeup, the way you do finance and investment in an ethical way, without investing in something that hurts people, like alcohol or drugs. Like we have drugs now. We have marijuana companies, and it's legal now in Canada, as you probably know. So those are the things are not for Muslim. It's for everybody who wants to live an ethical and healthy living. And and,
Yes.
and I noticed a trend in Toronto. A lot of people go now who are non-Muslim. They go to a halal butcher and halal supermarkets because they said it tastes better, it looks better, I like it, it's nicer, and it's a practice, even for the tourism. When we say halal tourism, everybody likes to go to a family oriented place. They don't want to see people drinking alcohol and getting drunk, and they have their children with them, or they have their wife and daughters, and everybody is like, dressed appropriate. So it's something nothing to do with Islam. It's That's why I halal, it's growing so vast and so large, because it doesn't really tell you anything different than what you should be doing and to start with. So it's an ecosystem that compromise with so many areas, that is good for us and good for every human being, not just for Muslims. it's an everyday living, and I think that's the reason why it's growing in a very very fast pace, and it's reaching out to countries that actually never even tried halal. Like I attended the Halal Expo in Holland. I know that there's in Korea and Japan. It's in places where halal becomes the thing. So
Yeah.
it's a good thing. It's a good thing basically.
Yeah. Um, Maybe we'd like to know also what the programs of Ismail in the Philippines is for his own halal advocacy. Can you tell us a bit about it, Mr. Ismail?
Ah, that's why I'm very excited to meet Halal Expo Canada with Brother Naser and Sister Grace because we have lots of learning to do, especially in the Philippines, a non-Muslim country, because most of the time the perception the halal is only from the Middle East, coming from Middle East and a Muslim country. What I'm excited about is because Canada is similar to the Philippines, that is a non-Muslim country. And the good thing about Canada, it's based in the North America, and one of the biggest market can be in that area, aside from Asia. Okay? So what I'm excited about is I can learn many things from these guys, especially it's an expo in Canada where we can put our product, especially the micro entrepreneur that we're helping. And also, I want to inject in the mind of the Filipino people that halal is global. It's not only in the south area of the Philippines, meaning the Mindanao, and not only in Middle East, but it can be in any other place. And Canada is a favorite place for Filipino. If I'm a Filipino, I would like to share my product to my Filipino people, not exactly the Muslim Filipino, but any people, any industry in Canada that I can share my product, Filipino product, okay, especially halal. And halal, if you will define it for the viewer, it means permissible, consumable, and lawful. But for the non-Muslim, it means quality, clean, safe, and clean. Healthy food. Okay? And remind you, they thought halal is only about food. When you think of Halal Expo Canada, it's not food, it's an exhibition. It's a services. It's an expo. And they were surprised that halal can be an expo. Di ba?
Okay,
In the Philippines,
so
you seldom find an expo of halal. That's why I'm very excited to be in partnership with those guys, especially Brother Naser and Grace, when they meet me in the Philippines. I'm proud
so
of that.
yes, I think we'll get a glimpse of what Halal
Yes.
Expo Canada is by this video clip. Okay, would like to share this one first.
It's a great opportunity for the businesses who are looking for different and more opportunities. And it's a great place that all the business people come together. And hopefully, and inshallah, we will see each other again in 2020 Halal Expo 2020 Canada.
I felt that this was an excellent springboard to greater things in the future. Obviously, a lot of work has been done in preparation, and this is a first time in a lifetime event based on world class experience for many years.
The best thing about this show is bringing people together. There's great businesses together, and interacting and understanding the halal economy in Canada. And we would love to be part of it. And we're here, and we're looking forward to next year. And we're glad we're here. It's been a great experience.
We expected lots of things, but we actually found it. So the first thing was the connections, and we saw lots of people that can connect us with the business and the Muslim community here in Canada, and even overseas. So this is one of the things that we're gonna make it next year, inshallah, that we will attend here, because connections are huge. Lots of people looking for our products. Lots of people they ask for business. So this is one of the things that we sure, inshallah, will come back to next year to Halal Expo.
Yeah,
Nice.
great.
Thank you.
So yes, brings back memories of doing great trade shows. Well, actually, as I was mentioning a while back, when I met Ismail, my acumen, my passion for exhibitions came back, no. And then I said, do you already have your own exhibition for halal? And said, wow, didn't know that you came from organizing exhibitions, and I had that in mind also, but I don't know what the format will be like, the nuances will be like. Then that is also the reason why I started doing my own learning about halal, no. And we find out from our constant conversations with other advocates from other parts of the world, mainly Malaysia and Singapore, halal advocates as well. And now, both of you now from Canada, um, is it correct that to say that the Halal Expo Canada, it is described there as the North American B2B Expo on halal lifestyle, right? No? So what demographic, which group of people are you looking at when you started conceptualizing Halal Expo Canada?
Okay. So basically, when we did the research, well, myself, I'm a trade show organizer, not necessarily for halal. I've done shows in different sectors, like from construction to oil and gas to jewelry, IT, name it. But now I saw a niche and I saw a need because the halal industry in North America has surpassed a huge number in the last 10 years due to the influx of immigrants and refugees from Muslim countries. And there's a lot of demand, but not enough supply. And I looked at the events that's taking place in North America, including US, and I traveled to some of them in the US as well, and I found out that they're all great events, and we have also some in Canada, but they all carry the consumer approach, like the B2C approach. And
Yes.
there was nothing there for traders, for manufacturers and traders to meet on a platform where they can exchange a bilateral, relationship between their countries and export and import, um, joint ventures, buying in a big volume. There was nothing there existing, and I looked at the both market. Where can I base my show? And many people think we should go to the U.S. because there are more than 15 million Muslims in the U.S. Where in Canada we have not even reached 2 million yet. But you have to bear in mind that in Toronto or the Greater Toronto area, we are the most concentrated Muslims in one place, which is Greater Toronto. Greater Toronto is like Metro Manila, basically. It consists of 6 or 7 municipality, or even more than that. So basically, and we are in a approximate distance to Michigan, which is a lot of Muslim there, New York State, only like hour to 2 hours to 3 hours drive. Anybody can reach us. So it's not far. We are in the border of these places, and this is where we saw that the potential to have it in Toronto. And Toronto is a very diverse place, as you probably know. You're free to practice anything you like as long as you don't hurt anybody. You are free to live your identity, your culture, your religion, your faith. Everybody is different here. We're like a multi-pot, melted pot, I would say, with of different races, different ethnicity, and that's where I decided to call it. And when we looked at the market, of course, as you mentioned, it's not the food production. It's also the halal finance and investment, which is also starting to grow here, from the wealth management, Sharia compliance, to the modest fashion, which is growing massively here in Canada. The halal cosmetics, uh, we have grown another uh, big growth in that area as well. Vitamins. A lot of people are concerned when they take the vitamins, they have like what you call gelatin, which is made of pork.
Yes.
So we have companies actually manufacture vitamins, halal vitamins, organic, very healthy, in Canada and US. Here, the brands are based here. So there are many halal tourism, halal, so many halal areas that we can touch upon to ensure the healthy or the great lifestyle living for all Muslim Canadians and beyond, not only the Muslims. And that's where the idea came about. And successfully, we launched in 2019, and we were really excited that the people, 70% of the people who signed up in 2019 have renewed right away. The minute the show finished, they started to ask for the next and they started to commit to the next year. But unfortunately, due to COVID-19, the show is going to be held in 2021 instead of 2020. That because, as you know, everything was shut down, and not only us, the entire world was shut down. Because we rely also on international, and uh, as of now, like now, and hopefully next on a few months from now, things will change. We cannot bring people from outside the country unless they are residents of Canada, and that's the only problem we have. Because we rely on international, we want to make sure the international are coming in. But slowly things are moving. The vaccine are being administered in Canada, so we and the rapid testing are now in the airport. So the waiting time instead of 2 weeks, you're probably gonna quarantine less. So there are many things are happening. Not only us, the entire world is getting
Yes.
ready for a better 2021, hopefully.
So my question
Mm.
is, prior to you meeting Grace, have you been to the Philippines in the past, Nasser?
Myself, I've been to Philippines since 1997. So,
Oh, okay.
but I don't.
Was it work related to what you did in the big trade show company before?
No, it was a honeymoon related. I would put it that way.
Okay, so okay, I will not deal with that anymore because a number of big international companies like have come and gone in the Philippines in the past also, especially in the 90s, no? And I'm sure you're well aware of that. How about you, Grace? Were you immediately in the exhibitions industry prior to meeting Expo Hat and Nasser?
Um, no, it's I'm not. I have no experience in the exhibition, but of course, it's not getting married with her with him. He's always in the exhibition, so I learned from him, and everything is like everything that he does is it's exciting. So when he said that, I think it's in Dubai when we decided to have the business, the expo hut, and I was so excited. It's the first time that I joined the exhibition industry. But it's
Yes,
exciting. It's really
that's great.
it's,
Yes, as
it's
Ismail is also familiar being the exhibitor side on the exhibitor side because he used to assist Filipino franchises to be exhibitors. These are mostly food franchises. A lot of them are, as I said, Filipinos. They eat a lot. They eat the whole day. Okay, and then on the other hand, we also had those initial plans and then pandemic came and then some people they transitioned to virtual events. I'm not really a fan of virtual events.
we're not.
We're now getting video fatigue or video conferencing fatigue, right? No,
We want to
it's
see
so
in person.
yes.
If I may, intervene on that. I wanted to talk about the virtual. We've been approached by many companies from North America and from overseas that we noticed that you're postponing your show. Why don't you do it this year or 2020 virtually? And although for us it's easier because we don't have to spend money on venues and this and that, but I felt kind of guilt. I don't want my exhibitors to be fooled or to be misled by paying money for something that I'm not saying it has no value. I don't take it the wrong way. I mean, don't think that I'm trying to say it has no value. It has a value, but it cannot replace the in-person meetings. Trade show has to offer, and plus the touch and feel approach. Because when you want to go to see, let's say, I don't want to talk about something that is not halal,
Yes.
but other things like when I do stone shows, when I do uh, like the material shows, the trader or the supplier, when you go to see the manufacturer, you want to test and feel. You want to see the texture, the body language between him and the manufacturer. Um, it's different. Like recently, we co-organized with our Chinese agent uh, an event virtually, but not us. They did it, but we were supporting them in North America. Uh, we brought buyers from here to meet the manufacturer of stone technology, and believe it or not, it was not really useful. It wasn't very useful for our buyers, and it was not fair because the guys have a lot to offer the manufacturers, but they couldn't really showcase their best products. So I still believe that yes, virtual is great, but you cannot replace it. We can continue on that in different ways, but we still have the urge and the need to meet. We, especially with the digital age nowadays, even colleagues in different branches don't meet. So the trade show is once a year, the only time when people can interact and meet. So I don't think it's gonna go away anytime soon. It's gonna continue. It's actually gonna, when it comes back, hopefully this year, it will come back stronger and even more, feel more eager to go to shows because we are tired of this. We are tired of, as you mentioned, we are like virtual fatigues from nonstop. Like if I want to meet customers now, I have to do a Zoom call. It's difficult, and I don't think it's healthy. But again, safety is important. But hopefully, with these things are evolving, we will definitely come out with this big mess and have a nice 2021. Let's say, inshallah.
Yes, that's true. My other question is, when you market to exhibitors right now, I mean right now, you just launched this is 2019. Am I correct? This is a brand new
Yeah,
expo in
it was a very
2019.
successful launch
Okay.
in 2019. It was the first time ever in North America,
Yes.
and we had a very good feedback from both exhibitors and attendees. And 2020 September is supposed to be the next edition, but unfortunately we have to change that. Now we booked it for June. All the exhibitors who paid, they all agreed and supported us and say, we understand the situation and we just make sure that you save our spot for the next time, and we just give them the forward, like we forward their participation. But yes, it was the first, and now it's supposed to be a second edition.
Okay. Yes. I see it now. It's the second edition,
Yeah,
and it's scheduled for June 3 to 5.
yeah,
Right. This is from, I'm taking this from your website. Right.
Yes.
yes,
And in the past, even with Ismail, he has been assisting as a third-party consultant of the Philippines Department of Trade and Industry, to assist small and medium enterprises as well, because a lot of these Philippine companies don't know anything about trading outside of the Philippines, no? As you all know, as we are now familiar with, most of the products coming from the Philippines are agri-processed, either raw agricultural products or agri-processed products. Okay, unlike for instance in North America where you have equipment, you have technology, etc. There's not much of that industry here in the Philippines, right? So, do you foresee an opportunity in the near future for, let's say, if Ismail and I are able to bring Halal Expo Canada to the Philippines Department of Trade and Industry, or even the Department of Science and Technology, if we can find worthy or worthwhile Philippine products to showcase in Halal Expo Canada, would that be possible as well for you to collaborate with us and assist us on a, let's say, we can call it on a subsidized basis, because we are not sure yet if we can get funding support from the government. But do you foresee that happening in the near future?
We have been working closely with TDI
Yes,
and Grace
TTI, yeah.
TDI and Toronto office as well.
Miss Alvaro,
Miss Alvera.
yeah, we're connecting with her, and she's helping us to be connected to with the PTI in Philippines. Actually, I have connecting. I know some. I forgot her name recently
And we met they had a good sized pavilion at
in
Malaysia,
Malaysia,
and we met
Mm-hmm.
the undersecretary Mr.
Makatuman.
Makatuman.
Yes, I think you know him as well, Ismail.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes.
so we met him,
Brother Yusek Makatuman.
and he told me that recently when I met him, he said recently I was in Toronto, and he met my friends, the people that I know. And he said I was there, I prayed at the mosque, and he was very excited about how the Muslim community is very strong in GTA. We are definitely working on that, just like we're doing with Malaysia and other places. The grant is very helpful, the subsidy is very helpful because a lot of manufacturers prefer to go to trade shows when there is a subsidy, where the government pays up to 50% of the cost, and it really helps a lot of exhibitors to participate. As of now, the only halal show that has been approved for subsidy is the one in Malaysia. But
Mm-hmm.
our
Yes.
show is in the
Right.
process. But
working on
our show is listed as an approved show, but on the process of getting the grant. So we are working on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's
That,
not gonna come to us.
it
It's
from
it's
DTI.
it's basically a Filipino company participate, and they after that they can show the government and they can reimburse some of,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that is the difficulty. I think Ismail would agree with me. That has been also the difficulty on the business side, on the private sector side, because it's like a reimbursement of expenses procedure, and it's very difficult for small businesses. No, so we're trying to figure out a way wherein someone funds it. Maybe it's there are so many ways to approach things nowadays, right? You have crowdfunding, you have people joining into an advocacy and putting their stake in it. We call them stakeholders now. We pool our resources together, and also in the past we can also approach the big Filipino tycoon companies because they are also into processed food and finished products. No, there are a number of them here. They are easily identifiable. They can afford to get booths on their own,
Mhm.
but I think it's just a matter of also matching them with the small ones and maybe using part of the booth that they will buy from you or the space that will they will rent from you and subsidize on their own as a private sector initiative. So you to think that's a good idea, Ismail, no?
Yeah.
They
Yes.
carry with them the smaller ones, right?
Ismail and I, we had some sort of agreement, but I guess then we're materialized to the extent. But we are still open, and we're still talking to Ismail to organize a Filipino pavilion,
Yes.
where we build the pavilion with consists of 6 to 10 booths of
Yes.
different companies, and we are definitely looking to that. We are, like I said, we see a potential in Philippines. Uh,
Mhm.
Philippines is, especially with the AOFU or OFW, the
OFW.
overseas foreign
Yes.
overseas workers, Filipino workers. They are the one who are, a majority of them are living in the Gulf or Middle East, and they experience halal. So to them, it's something they like also, because our Filipino friends here in Toronto who came from Dubai are
Yes.
Muslim, but they always go to halal restaurants, and they always like,
Yes.
so it's really happening, and I think it just uh, as Ismail, one of the people who are pushing for that, I think it's gonna grow and it's gonna be an
Yes.
important, and it's an opportunity for Philippines uh, to leverage from and to capture the opportunity because they can. Filipinos are very good manufacturers, and people like Filipinos, like in the Muslim world. So it's easier for them to start to produce those products and export to the world. And I don't see a challenge for Filipinos to do that.
That's correct because being having experienced that itself, the expo industry and as an industry, as a business, and Ismail as an exhibitor, we know for a fact that joining an exhibition is the most cost efficient way of penetrating a market which would seem impossible. Like for instance, Canada. Canada is so far. If even if I band together with 10 other small companies, there's no way that we can penetrate the Canadian market or the North American market for that matter, right? But with an event like Halal Expo Canada, that would solve a lot of things, correct? Because
No,
it's you.
I will give you an example. Sorry to interrupt. I'll give you an example. We had a nice Korean company coming from Korea at
Yes,
Canada. They manufacture sushi,
seaweed.
seaweed,
yes.
and it's halal certified by the Korean Halal Authority. And we were shopping at the Korean store close by, and Grace found their product uh,
Michelle.
in the shelf. So I went the extra mile, and I approached the manager of the store, and I asked for the manager, and he came out, and I said, "Can I ask you, sir, about when did you get this product?" He said, "A year, over a year ago." So that's exactly after Halal Expo. So what I found out, the owner of that place went into our show and met these Koreans, and they were trying so hard to export to Canada, and now
Mhm.
they came to the show the first time, and now the product is already in Canada.
And we
Wow.
have also here
See? Yes.
some
Nice.
grocery stores also.
Yes, that's
And
what you.
almost,
Grocery stores
yeah,
here.
almost everybody that came to our show, 90% who trying to get the products into Canada or Toronto, we see the products now in the
On the
shelves of
shelf.
different places because of the show. As you mentioned, I always, not because I'm a show organizer for the last 28, 29 years, I always tell people why you want to travel, waste your time. You are lucky if you can meet that manager or the CEO of the company. But when a trade show, you're respected, you have your own booth, and we bring you everybody to you. Even the CEO of the
Correct.
companies come and sit with you, and he has plenty of time to talk. Where in his office, you'll you'll take 6 months for an appointment. Especially in Canada, they're very hard to meet people. So I would say, why waste your money? Go online, trying to push your product through emails. That's not gonna work. Come here because Canadians in particular or North Americans, they want to see you. They want to like to be more credible and more believable. They're gonna see you in a booth that you invested your time, money, you came all the way down, you ship your products, and you showcase it in a proper trade show. And that's where easier, it may be costly in the beginning, but if you look at it in the long term, it's cheaper, it's easier. You sign a contract with a distributor and you're done. You're good to go.
Correct.
You don't have to come
Correct.
back
Yeah.
anymore, if you wish to.
What are your thoughts on this, Ismail? What opportunities are forming in your thoughts now?
I'm thinking of a additional approach because right now even the Filipino would like to uh, attend the Expo Canada, Halal Expo Canada. It's impossible because of the pandemic crisis. I think maybe we can think of another combination or strategy, innovation that we can combine the traditional expo and to those people who would like to showcase the product. Maybe we can inject Brother Nasir. Anyway, we will not charge so much. We will do the virtual Expo Canada and virtual seminar combined. Maybe we can do that for the Filipino and other countries that cannot enter Canada because right now I think Canada is closed to tourists or anybody outside of Canada.
Yeah, yeah. As of now, but the coming months, as I mentioned, things will start because, as you know, like 2 weeks ago, they started to implement the rapid testing in the airport. So,
Uh-huh.
which means you can, in a few minutes, you can know if you have a COVID or not. And
Okay.
also, so the quarantine will be less than 2 weeks. So it will be like maybe 3 days. That's what they're working on trying to approve. Um, we are now in the month of January, and our show is in June. We are looking at March. Things started to change, and once it's
Okay.
changed, we can explore these ideas. We're still open to options. We have a backup option, but whatever it is, it's going to be in this year. It's not going to be next year for sure. That's what I can guarantee. But June is our date now, and we're working on that. So far, so good. If something that, let's say, happens, we do have a backup option, but it will remain to be in 2021. That's not going to be 2022 for sure.
Yes.
Okay. I'm thinking of a company, like combination, innovation.
I
I can send hotel hotel in Canada because they have resources, a five-star hotel or a halal compliance hotel in the Philippines, and showcase their services in a guise of tourism. But inside the hotel, they can also showcase what they're using, the kind of product that the supplier, maybe the micro entrepreneur who supply milk, who supply condiments, the processed meat, the vegetable, in one booth. Okay, for economics solution for the micro entrepreneur who cannot go individually in the Expo Canada, because hotel can be an umbrella to those micro or entrepreneur that supplies them. Can we do that also?
we can consider with TTI, we can consider an idea of maybe having what we call it an info counter, an info booth with some sampling products from Philippines for the first year, for this year, and with that we can grow it to the 2022 to a bigger pavilion where we have more exhibitors. But that's something we can talk to Mrs. Alvera and yourself. We can maybe coordinate and have a small booth, maybe a 9 square meter, which is 10 by 10, or maybe
Mhm.
200 square feet, which is 18 square meter or approximate. And then we can design it like put the theme colors of Philippines, and
Yes.
have the office in Toronto, subsidize some of that cost, and then
Okay.
maybe you can collect some of that from the sampling. So each one will for the first year, and then the DTI office, they can donate their time during the show,
Okay.
and maybe we can get you or one of you person to be also here and try to be present here. So in case that we cannot bring everybody this year, we can find a way. I mean, we can discuss this offline with Ismail and find a super way, and maybe we can have a joint conversation with the DTI Toronto and see
Mm.
they like the idea. I think they will like the idea to have at least some kind of present, like a seed to build into a bigger
Yes.
present for the following year.
Yes,
I,
definitely.
I think Brother Seno can maybe we have a YouTube video of bounce back, the one that we're supposed to conduct this December. Maybe we can show the video, Brother Seno. You know that
Uh,
the bounce back video
mm,
later, so that it's and Brother Naser and Sister Grace. This is a different virtual what do you call that technology. It's not the traditional. It's the first in the world that I've seen in collaboration with my partner. We have to maybe you can see this because it's not the traditional virtual event, because here you can feel, you can talk, you can have the product virtually, but they can talk directly. And they have their own avatar. They will use their own avatar as if you're doing the traditional, but not exactly the but it's like a traditional virtual events, but at on a gaming mode. You know, gaming, di ba? Esports, di ba? It's like playing the real basketball, but you're using the avatar. Maybe Seno, we can show that later on, if you can.
No,
Yeah,
but
I'm
I,
sorry.
You have
I'm sorry that's not
it's
possible
the
right
same thing,
now.
it's the same thing
uh,
that the most of virtual shows that now software it's like a built in a, as you say, like an avatar style. You have even a booth, you can click on it, it opens up, you meet the guy, you click on the guy, you go in a separate room, you go to
yeah,
conference, you go to the
Mm.
conference.
yes, yes.
All the virtual shows in our platform are like that, are built like that, but we refuse
Oh,
that because we don't want to encourage and advocate that this is a replacement. And even though we could have saved money if we did that, we rather lose
mm,
money rather than supporting all these things, because again it's not the value is now it's
Uh,
really to go back into a
okay.
trade show. But all the virtual shows are like that now, they're like built in a very real time, and you actually click the product, you can go to their presentation, you can see the videos, you can see the product in a 3D. That's all there. But and we've been approached by many companies in North America and in Asia, asking us to buy their product, but we said no. Not because
No,
yes,
we're not selling the product. We
no.
will collaborate.
I'm not saying you're selling. I'm just saying
It's the
the
same
the
concept more or less.
concept is. I'm trying to say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not,
yeah.
I'm not trying to say that.
yes.
But
Uh,
again,
I
we
I would like
yeah
sorry. I'd like to agree because especially when it comes to sorry, when it becomes a, let's say, a food product. I mean, how can you appreciate something that you cannot
yeah you can
touch and taste,
yes,
right?
I understand.
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
something like that. No,
Anyway,
so
it's just a idea. We combine the traditional and the new one, the new normal, because
yes,
uh, yeah, we cannot go to Canada right now for now, but maybe
yes,
it will change later on by June. But
yes,
it's a
no,
good
but no,
thing
but
that we
again,
can combine the idea.
we are not we are not saying that it's going to be 100% because nothing is 100%, especially nowadays.
Yes, yes,
Nothing is certain. But we are working toward June, and that's what we're hoping, and we think is going to happen. But in the meantime, as an organizer, as Zeno knows, we always have to plan for the risk management and plan ahead. So basically,
yes,
we decided to talk to the venue, and we have an optional date in case, but in 2021, it's not going to go in 2022.
yes, yes.
So
That's
yes, yes.
correct.
we have an option to play with in case, and we will communicate that as soon as March. Either we're going ahead or not ahead. We'll make sure people will know that in June and in March. But for now, definitely we're going ahead. We started to get more booking now. Things are getting
Yes.
better. People are more comfortable now a little bit because of the vaccine. This is a Korean
Okay,
company, by the way. It's the Korean company right there. Yeah.
okay, good.
Okay.
Oh, okay. This is the Korean company.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
great.
nice, nice.
Tasty and ready
Korea
to.
is
Yeah,
growing. The
yes.
halal ecosystem of Korea is growing
All
right
right.
now.
So yeah, with that, I think we are all in agreement that we have the same goals. We are all in agreement that yeah. Before I forget, the other thing that came into my mind, Nasir and Grace and Ismail, is that there are a lot of exhibitions. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. There are a lot of trade shows, but having something like Halal Expo Canada, as you conceptualize at the start, it's a niche, right? And now telling us that Toronto is also a meeting place of people from all over, no? Because it's a friendly place for business and meetups as well. So it would be worthwhile for me because you have to understand, Ismail, that prior to the pandemic, we've been getting a lot of invitation from everyone. You don't even know what will happen to the trade show when you get there, right? No, but
Yes,
considering that this is new, this is a niche, this is has been getting a good response, and we are familiar with the goal of halal. That it FYI, by the way, FYI, Grace and Nasser, one big area that Ismail and I are also trying to develop is Philippine halal tourism. That's why he kept on mentioning the hotel, for instance, because with tourism, everything comes in. You have food, you have services, etc., etc., etc. Right?
Oh, if you ever want to see something like a great example, if you go to Bangkok, you have to go. I stayed there when I was there. It's called Al Mirath Hotel, which in Arabic means the inheritance, like the culture inheritance or something. This hotel is a 5 star. The waitresses are wearing hijab. Everybody's like always wearing hijab. All halal food, but Thai food, but all halal. And the hotel is amazing. I met the owner. He's a Muslim, Thai Muslim,
Yes.
and I couldn't believe it. It's a 5 star hotel in the heart of Bangkok.
Wow. Yes.
So
So,
I like to,
so with that,
I like to see the same thing
The Philippines,
in the
yeah.
Philippines. Like I like to see a 5 star hotel. You don't have like a rich Filipino Muslim in Philippines that can invest,
we have
or
they are it's a secret, but we have them in our database. Yeah.
if
They don't want to be publicly identified.
you have somebody like that, you should convince them, because a lot of people
Yes.
now, they don't know. Like most Muslims in Middle East, if they want to go, who are conservative, if they want to go to a country for vacation, they either go to Malaysia or Indonesia. And if I
Right.
take Philippines,
Yeah.
no, they are
Exactly the point.
Yes.
Exactly the
in
point.
sport,
Yeah.
and they are not like practicing. And I said to myself, the Philippines is better than even all these countries. I mean, all the countries are beautiful.
Yeah.
But Philippines has something that nobody has in Asia. You have more than 7,000 islands. You have the best hidden resorts that nobody even know about, like a Virgin Islands that nobody even touched. Those other things are need to be educated and communicated to the Muslim world. And I think, believe it or not, people will love to go to Philippines, because uh, at least 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 4 had made friends in the Muslim world. Had made friends with Filipino, or had a co-worker with Filipino. So they like the culture of Philippines. They respect the culture of Philippines, but they're always scared that Philippines, I go there, I don't know what to eat, I don't know where to go. They don't care
Yeah.
about religion. If I'm wearing hijab, do I was in Manila. I saw a lot of Filipinos women wearing hijab. I was like impressed. I never seen that before when I was in
Yes.
30.
Correct.
It's growing. It's
Yes.
growing.
Well,
I
yeah.
didn't see that
So
before.
the
I was so impressed in the last visit that the Islamic culture is kind of like starting to appear, not only in Mindanao, or it's actually in
correct.
Manila, and that's where you guys need to take advantage as a Filipino. Not because religious wise, I don't. I think everybody is great. Our brothers from Christianity and all religions are amazing, but there is an opportunity for a business, like for a business opportunity.
Yes.
And Philippine, how do you say the new slogan for Philippine? It's happening. What is it?
It's fun.
It's fun in the Philippines. But
Yes.
that
It's more
Yes.
fun in the
that
Philippines.
just
Yes.
means it's halal in the Philippines.
Yes.
Yes.
It's,
That's correct. You exactly you hit the, as we can say, you hit the nail on its head, because that's exactly, you took the words right out of Ismail's mouth, because that's what he's been evangelizing to me, if I may use the word, no. And don't worry about the investor. It doesn't it encompasses religion. It's not even about religion. Okay, it's just about good business sense. It's just about good
Yes.
business investing. Okay, and we know that, you're a businessman as well.
yeah,
You're an
yeah,
entrepreneur. We just showed them the numbers, and that's it,
yeah.
right?
And if it makes a sense and makes this return on investment for them, nobody.
Yes.
I told you, 50% of the people investing in halal here are not even Muslims.
In yes,
Yes.
in the same manner that the huge companies, the huge like sardine companies here, they're not even Muslim. They're mostly Filipino, Chinese, but they've been halal certified. They have been aware of that. They already had that anticipation and the vision.
You
On
know,
the other hand,
the biggest company. Sorry, the biggest company is called Maple Leaf and Maple Lodge. 5 or 10 years ago, those two companies started their own brand They're a huge company. They're a food production company, chicken and meat. They have pork, they have everything. But they decided when they saw the growth, they decided to have their own brands. They're actually our sponsor. They're our exhibitors and sponsors. Maple Leaf decided to start their own product called Mina Halal, which is a separate
Hmm?
division, separate product. And then you have Zabiha out of Maple Lodge. So those companies are huge companies. Some of them are like publicly traded, and they see the potential and they move to it. Like company like San Miguel. Is it San Miguel? Is it San Miguel?
Yes,
That's a huge company, right? It's a big
yes.
group. So they can also enter that area. You know, but they have to separate it in a different factory and a different. Everything has to be
Yeah.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, so again, we're wrapping this up, but we'll also like to inform you with the numbers, as Ismail mentioned earlier. There are actually a bigger and the biggest concentration of Filipino Muslims are in Metro Manila. We
Wow.
already have, by law, we already have the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region. They have their own autonomous government there in some areas in Mindanao. That's already by legislation. That's already a law.
Yeah.
But the realization is there are more Muslim Filipinos here in Metro Manila. No, there's about 3 million of them. Am I right, Ismail? Is that the correct
Yes,
number? Yes,
approximately.
because they're here for business as well. They're naturally traders. They're naturally traders. They're just like the Filipino Chinese in culture and in behavior. Okay, so it's a matter of us gathering them in one huge data, no, and we'll get a delegation to visit
But
you regularly.
my last question to you. Sorry,
Yes,
last question. Jollibee, as you know, is expanding in Toronto, as you know, probably. Jollibee.
Yeah.
So
yes,
our
of
big
Jollibee.
course.
question is here in Toronto, like Popeyes or Hero Burgers, they are very big brands. But if you are a Muslim franchisee, you will just tell the franchisor, "I want to make it halal," so you get it
Yes.
certified. So why Jollibee not being approached? Because a lot of people like Jollibee here, but
Yeah.
we cannot go there because they have so much mixing of sausage and
Yes,
know. So
Yes.
the thing is, why can't they somebody approach in the Philippines, the main office, whatever the San Miguel Corporation, just I mean not San Miguel, Jollibee Corporation, whatever the company is represented. Why don't they look at giving like there's no Muslim want to buy a franchise of Jollibee? Anybody who owns a franchise of Jollibee? Any Muslims? You know?
uh, no,
No?
In
That's
not
other
now, not right now.
In
But
Brunei, the Jollibee is already halal certified.
oh, oh,
okay, okay. No,
In
this is
Brunei.
how it is. This is how it is. You might have that idea, Naser, but the reality is here, and I think Grace is aware of that as well. The big companies won't listen to even you, okay? Because they think they know everything, okay? Even if we have a very novel idea, even if we show them the numbers, they think they will just be wasting their time having a meeting with you or us, okay? So that's not the approach that we're doing. The approach we're doing is we show them concrete proof of being successful in doing our own thing, okay? Bring a delegation to your event, no? We don't mind being it big right away, and then they will just follow later on because they will see the sense. That's how the Filipinos are. They want to see proof.
Make it happen first.
Yes, we have to make
Yes.
it happen first. Otherwise, if it's just a concept, they will say, oh, you know, people approach us to get a franchise and we charge you 100 million pesos just for a franchise fee alone. Why would we listen to you? Right? We don't need more business. They will tell you that. Right? No? So
that's
we have to do it on our own
and grow it.
uh, unique approach and grow it. Okay. So with that, I think the more important thing of our meeting this morning would be we should be agreeing that
This
we will
evening.
do
This evening.
this evening. Sorry,
Their
today is
evening.
that we will do continuing collaboration in
Mhm.
all aspects,
Yes.
in all aspects of trade and business and conferences, exhibitions, etc. Only our minds would limit our collaboration, but we have set the same goal, and we hope this to be a continuing cooperation with you as well. All right.
Thank you so much,
So
and thank you, Ismail, also for inviting us.
Yes.
And
Thank you so much for
so with that, we invite everybody. We'll just monitor the travel advisories on the side of Canada. They will be the first, one of the first countries which will have total vaccination in Canada. So some cities in some parts of the world are now opening up. I think Canada will be one of the earlier cities to open up, or Toronto, I mean.
I
No?
hope,
so.
we hope so.
Inshallah.
Yes,
Hopefully,
inshallah.
we will be there.
And we'll just be monitoring that. It will be all the better for all of us in terms of trade and business, and especially, opportunities for penetrating the market. Okay, so just drop us a message anytime, anytime you need something from us here. We will be your trade office here in Manila. All
Actually,
right.
we are planning to be there. Hopefully, things start to get better. We're planning to be there in September,
Yeah.
and hopefully we can see you again.
Yes, yes, we can
We,
talk
Yeah.
we,
about a
we'll
lot
take you guys. We
more
will
things.
go to a halal restaurant in of your choice in Manila.
So
Sure,
with that,
sure.
yes, with that, we will ask you, Nasir and Grace, what is your message to our Filipino viewers and our overseas Filipino worker viewers from all over the Middle East and parts of Europe and, of course, parts of the USA, because we are also encouraging them to be entrepreneurs. So what can you tell them as a closing message?
Yes. As a Filipino, I'm encouraging our Filipino to, of course, to be entrepreneur. It's. I mean, being entrepreneur is like a freedom of creating your own and be a boss of your own. So it's good to I mean to open a business that you like, that you enjoy. Just follow your heart, and follow your passion. That's it.
All right, Ismail, what would be your
How
closing
about
messages to
Brother
our new
Nasser?
friends?
Brother
Yeah,
Nasser. Brother
And
Nasser
Filipino,
first.
Oh, okay. No, I think Filipinos are very smart and talented people and very
very
skillful. I worked with them at Expo Hut in Dubai. I was the only non-Filipino
What?
working there. Everybody was Filipino, and I like their business ethics and the way they're so creative. I think Filipinos, if they really have more confidence of themselves and they know who they are, I think they understand themselves. They're very smart people, hardworking, and creative. Like when they do the work, they don't just do it; they do it with their heart and passion. And that's what business actually requires. It's more passion, and that's what I encourage all Filipinos. Uh, I mean, if you're happy with your job, that's fine. But if you're an entrepreneur and you have that skill and the mindset, I would encourage you to venture to that, especially if you're living in other countries. Why not? You're smart. They're mostly educated. They're the most educated people in Asia, I would say. Well spoken. They have a great character, and I have one of them right there. So she's amazing. So like I said, it's a great nation, and I think Philippines is coming back to its glory, and I think that's what I feel. I feel like I sense it. It's coming back, and it's coming back much stronger and much more successful than before because Philippines has what it takes. They have the nature, the tourism, the industries, the skilled people. That's the most important, and of course, natural resources. And I don't see any obstacle for Philippines to become one of the top nations in Asia. That's what I believe. I'm a big fan of Philippines, so I have to be very bit biased.
yeah. Okay, that's very good. Great to know that. Again, we'll flash the poster. I think we invite everyone, Halal Expo Canada. We inform Filipinos also and our friends, Filipino friends from all over, that Canada will be doing nationwide mass vaccination. So watch out for travel advisories to open and maybe just be there in time in June 3 to 5 to visit and do business with the very unique, very niche, and very full of opportunities, Halal Expo Canada. And even Ismail and myself, if we can get the opening of the travel on time, then who knows, right? We
Love
might
that.
see you soon, sooner than soon, right?
Yes, we love
And
that.
we're happy to be meeting new friends. I think your closing remarks, Mr. Ismail.
Yes. It's very simple. I can project that it's a matter of time that the halal industry will be developed. And I can feel it in less than 3 years, the halal industry in the Philippines will be developed. We just keep on inspiring them, educating them, and this Global Pinas TV 168 will be a medium of educating them aside from Brother Naser in Canada, in other countries conducting expo, so that they can really see, feel, and talk to the expert or the producer, the entrepreneur of this halal industry. And the tourism, I can see that the Philippine halal tourism will be the very big thing in the Philippines. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum
With that,
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
maraming
Salamat.
salamat.
Salamat po. Salamat po.
Ay,
Yes,
salamat.
yes.
Mabuhay.
We'd like
Nabuhay.
to close our talks with this poster again of yeah. Okay. Bye now, friends, and see you again soon. We'll set another meeting soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.